From the Convergence Studio in the School of Communication, this is Loyola News, Chicago.
Welcome to our final episode of the spring 2018 semester. My name is Cheryl Huang.
And I'm Claire Philby. Later we have stories on the end of the school year anxieties and festivals. But first, some big news on campus. It's official, Loyola men's basketball head coach Porter Moser has signed a contract extension. Moser gained prominence this season with the most wins in Rambler history. His current contract was for just over $420,000. Now Moser is locked in until 2026, adding 4 years to the contract he already had. He has been at Loyola since 2011 and has an all-time record of 121 and 111, including his trip to the Final Four this year. Loyola Phoenix sports editor Nick Schultz says the university thought it was time to show the coach their appreciation.
I talked to Loyola Athletic Director Steve Watson, and he said it's an amendment of his previous extension, which was originally through 2022, but they are quote-unquote rewarding him for the success not only of this past season, but of the last few years of building up this program.
We don't know how much his contract is worth for the upcoming season, and we may not know until government forms are released next summer. Moser will return next season along with 8 players from this year's team.
America's favorite nun has won the first Trailblazer Award. The award is given by the Village Chicago Group and recognizes those who don't let age get in the way of their work. The group says Sister Jean is an inspiration to many. She has gotten used to a lot of attention after her recent rise to international stardom during March Madness. Loyola's campus can be a dangerous place for birds. Allison Klein reports on how the Student Operation for Avian Relief, or SOAR, is working to change that.
Loyola's northern campus is a great resting spot for birds who spend their nights migrating across Lake Michigan. Buildings on campus, such as the IC, that are built with highly energy-efficient glass are a danger for these birds. The glass is so clear that they are unable to detect it, making glass windows a large cause of bird mortality. SOAR is a group on campus that works to prevent these deaths.
Well, the program that we have is we go out and we try and quantify, so we count dead birds by buildings. So we're trying to figure out which buildings on campus are the most dangerous for these migratory birds.
SOAR worked with building management at the IC to schedule the computer-operated blinds to open and close at times accommodating to the birds' migration schedules. The blinds make the building visible to the birds and have resulted in mortality rates going from 70 to 80 deaths to only 3 or 4 deaths per migration season, which happens twice a year. Sullivan is another dangerous spot on campus for migratory birds. SOAR has worked it out with the housekeeping staff here at Sullivan so that they close the blinds every night before they leave. Windows in Norville are responsible for 30 to 40 deaths per migration, but recently SOAR worked with the athletic department and university facilities to agree on a Rambler decal to help the birds see better. Currently, the most dangerous spot on campus for migratory birds is the 3-story atrium where Gentile Arena and the Damon Student Center meet. University regulations prevent altering the lighting to help the birds, so SOAR and facilities are still working toward a solution.
For birds, that design aesthetic is the worst thing possible. The real challenge is balancing the aesthetics of the building with the desire to make it safe for birds as well.
Even a highly sustainable campus like Loyola can be a source of environmental harm.
I went on 4 mornings to do my tour, and I found 4 birds total. Those 2 birds were right in front of Hallis, the gym, those big windows by the atrium, and another 2 birds I found by Norville. As an environmental science student, you have to build thick skin to these issues.
Chicago is a scary part of migration for birds, but groups like SOAR continue efforts to make flying safe for them. Allison Klein, Loyola News, Chicago.
SOAR is currently working with facilities to ensure that the new Alfie Athletic Center is built with bird-friendly windows.
With finals coming up at Loyola next week, students may be more stressed than usual. Students are heading to the library and finishing up their last week of classes, but some students are taking a much-needed break to visit Santos, Loyola's therapy dog. Santos is trained to provide emotional support for students who may be struggling with homesickness or stress. Students can come visit him during his Sit with Santos sessions, held at different spots on campus each weekday. Samantha Young says that playing with Santos makes her feel less homesick.
I just really I think dogs are very good for emotional support. I have one at home, so it's great to be able to hang out with one while being away from home. It's a good reminder of, what's waiting at the end of the semester.
During finals, students can find Santos at the Wellness Center's biannual study days next Wednesday. They also have coloring, snacks, and free massages to help students de-stress. Before the seniors go off and set the world on fire, they had some celebrations to get them through these last couple weeks. Graduating senior Betsy Moline has more on the senior end of the year events.
The last couple weeks of senior year can be daunting for students, but events around and off campus help bring people together.
I think that's important that Loyola puts on senior events because it provides just a great capstone to our Loyola experience. And I attend these events and I get to see people that maybe I haven't even seen in 4 years.
Events like the senior boat cruise are organized by Loyola to celebrate the seniors.
They're really important because I think the school should appreciate seniors more. We've worked really hard to be here.
Some Loyola students organized events for themselves. Sierra Davies organized the senior bar crawl along with a fellow senior. She took on the responsibility as a matter of tradition.
So I decided to do the bar crawl because my roommate last year was a year older than me and she organized the bar crawl, so I kind of watched how she did it, and then the girl who wanted to do it this year asked for my help, and we ended up just doing it together because there was too much she didn't know how to do.
The bar crawl included more than 600 students visiting 12 bars throughout the day. Students who participated got shirts to celebrate the occasion. It was a chance for seniors to come together as one.
I think these events are important because I think it's one last way to celebrate our time at Loyola and bring everyone together, all the seniors, so we can celebrate that.
Undergrad ends this week for seniors, but they will always have memories that will last a lifetime. Betsy Moline, Loyola New Chicago.
Seniors can attend the musical production of Cinderella this Saturday or the annual Senior Toast on May 7th.
The semester is quickly coming to a close, and many of us here at Loyola New Chicago are moving on to bigger and better things. We shared our favorite memories from our time here at Loyola.
I'd have to say my favorite memory here at Loyola was when I first started and I came in as a freshman. I did one of the Start the Fire retreats and I made a ton of friends. We were the smallest group in the whole retreat bunch, I guess.
I think that I've really enjoyed the community of Loyola. I think I've made a lot of really great friends. And then I've also had really great teachers, and I feel like I've always been surrounded by a lot of great people, and I think that's kind of what makes an experience transformative.
I really enjoyed my last semester here at Loyola, especially because I got to produce a lot of work for my future journalism career and really get used to all the equipment in the studio.
I'm probably going to miss all being on such an environmentally sustainable campus. I think
the other seniors and I will be graduating in ceremonies from May 8th to the 12th.
I'm really going to miss all my friends that are seniors. It's going to be rough without you guys.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited for what's to come next.
Coming up, how one CTA rider discovered a magical portal into another world.
And a new study on what's in Chicago's tap water. We'll be right back. Bill Cosby has been found guilty of aggravated indecent assault. He was convicted of drugging and sexually assaulting a woman in a Philadelphia suburb in 2004. This was a retrial after Cosby's first trial resulted in a hung jury. He faces up to 30 years in prison. A new high-profile campaign against workplace sexual harassment is coming to Chicago. The PSA, called #That'sHarassment, is a collaborative effort between actor David Schwimmer and Mayor Rahm Emanuel. The campaign will be shown on digital billboards, bus stops, and taxicabs. Schwimmer hopes the PSAs will help discourage unwelcome behavior in the workplace.
This campaign is designed to empower and help victims, generate greater awareness, and arm employers and CEOs with the tools they need to create safe work environments for their employees.
Mayor Emanuel says the new ads are needed in a city that has long ignored issues of sexual harassment.
Loyola's law school is opening a new social justice center. It'll be located on the 11th floor of the Corboy Law Building, and it is funded by the law school's 1971 alum Kurt Roden and his wife Linda. 7 faculty members have been put in charge of the Roden Center, and applications will soon open to admit 3 students, social justice fellows, in the fall. The center hopes to build on programs already in the law school, add services for marginalized communities, and teach students the significance of social justice in our society. We have an update on the Republican-vetoed gun shop licensing bill in Illinois. Democrats are no longer trying to pass the bill, which would have required gun shop employees to undergo a background check. Democrats are expected to propose a similar bill in the coming months. You might need to be older to buy tobacco products in Illinois soon. The state Senate has approved to raise the age from 18 to 21 to purchase tobacco products. It's been passed in hopes to decrease the number of minors who smoke cigarettes, e-cigarettes, and vapes. In 2016, the law was approved in Chicago, but it will now be enforced statewide.
The Chicago Tribune recently reported that lead was found in the tap water of 70% of Chicago homes. Carla Rogner reports on what you need to know about Chicago's water condition.
The clear water of Lake Michigan looks nice from the shore, and experts say the water is clean, but it can become contaminated by the time it reaches your home. Many old buildings use lead pipes, and when the water sits in the pipes for too long, the lead accumulates and gets into the water that we drink.
Because overnight, water stay in the pipe and then get contact with the pipe, and then lead relief from the pipe and get into the water.
Lead pipes are expensive to replace, but there are other ways to reduce the risk of contamination. Loyola's water testing lab is working with Chicago Public Schools to reduce the lead content in their water.
They use a very cost-effective solution just to flush the water periodically to reduce the overall lead concentration.
Dr. Zhu says homes are at higher risk of lead contamination than commercial buildings because the water is used less often. The FDA says water with less than 5 parts per billion of lead is safe, but some homes that were tested in Chicago had much more than this.
Water filters, like this one, can help, and the Environmental Protection Agency recommends running your water for 3 to 5 minutes before you drink it. If you are concerned about the water in your home, you can order a free water testing kit online from the Department of Water Management. Carla Rogner, Loyola News, Chicago.
Consuming water with high lead content can cause brain damage and other health issues, especially for young children.
One CTA rider noticed a hint of magic during his morning commute yesterday, a door to Hogwarts. The door was drawn in white chalk on a brick building at the Damon Blue Line stop. After seeing it, the rider sent a tweet to the author of the Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling. The best-selling author's response? The door was obviously for exchange students from America's own School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, Ilvermorny. Coming up next, we'll tell you about Loyola students who is running her own business.
And a new form of exercise for animal lovers. We'll be right back.
Being a full-time student is already hard enough. Imagine running a business on top of that. One Loyola student has learned how to juggle classes and a career. Being a plus-size woman, Ava Francesca Battagio struggled to find clothes that fit her style and body type, so she began to make her own. Soon, all her friends wanted to buy her clothes. In 2016, she started Timely Attire Company and began to sell her vintage reproduction dresses.
I feel that the most important thing that we can do for self-care is to have clothes that make us feel confident and comfortable in our own bodies and our own skin, even when we're having trouble being inwardly as confident as we outwardly appear.
Living in New England, she attended many American Revolution reenactments, and soon she began to design and sew her own costumes. Sewing was a skill that she learned from her mother, who was a doll maker. These two things contributed to her love for sewing and vintage reproduction. In February, the owner of a vintage reproduction shop in Rhode Island approached Battagio and asked her to send some of her clothes to Viva Las Vegas, a 4-day rockabilly convention. Pataccio spent 112 hours over 1 month creating 20 pieces to send to the convention.
This is a really huge deal for me because so much of Viva Las Vegas revolves around vintage reproduction and rockabilly fashion.
Pataccio sells her handmade pieces on timelyattire.co and on Etsy. Prices vary from $60 to $130. On top of running her small business out of her home, Pataccio is a full-time student in the advertising 5-year BA/MA program, and she works 2 part-time jobs. To say she's busy is an understatement.
Being successful, being a good student, being a responsible business owner, and working 2 jobs really requires micromanaging my time and really prioritizing.
Pataccio plans to continue to grow her business, and in the future, she hopes she can sell her creations at a boutique or a farmer's market in Chicago. In addition to vintage clothing, she also collects vintage sewing machines. She has 8 machines, and the one she uses the most is from 1946.
Graduation for seniors is coming up in 2 weeks. As a senior myself, I know it is quite scary to jump into the real world and start a career. Gabby Miller is a Loyola alumna who graduated in 2014. She created her own path when she saw there was a need in the Chicago community. It prompted her to start Ascension Performing Arts, an organization that brings faith to the center of art. Her organization creates a safe space for artists, musicians, and dancers to create with intention. She says something clicked for her when she was a dancer at an organization at Loyola.
What really sparked my interest was working with the artist community at Loyola and seeing how art really made an impact in their life for all of the difficult things that they were going through. So when I was at Loyola, I directed a hip-hop dance company with the Filipino community, and that really sparked my interest because I saw how dance really connected them together.
Gabby's organization is in its 5th year and hosts a benefit every October filled with music, art, and dance. With finals just around the corner, students may try to de-stress with exercise or cute animals. Jackie Drees reports on a fun new way to combine the two.
Some practice yoga to help relax and improve their health. And yoga with goats offers the same benefits, but with furry friends by your side and even on your back. Caitlin McAllister owns Cayman's Farm in Grays Lake and started its goat yoga sessions. She says participants call the activity therapeutic and frequently come to exercise and cuddle with the goats.
They're such happy and calming creatures that you really can't not have fun and be relaxed around them, and I think we just kind of set it up as a relaxing environment. It's a nice warm barn on a cold day, and there's no structure. You can just come and sit if you want to. You don't have to do the yoga.
McAllister and her fiance opened the 2-acre farm in 2016. It's now home to more than 70 animals, including the goats, Rosie the cow, pigs, bunnies, horses, and more. And during the summer sessions, all of the animals are let out to graze and interact with the yoga participants.
Well, we have some wives that come here and they'll come for 3 to 4 yoga and they'll still be here at 6 and their husbands are like, are you ever coming home? Are you alive?
On colder days, visitors can come to the heated baby barn for animal cuddle sessions. Cassandra Cadman began coming to the farm in February and says she brings her daughter about once or twice a week for animal cuddles and yoga.
It's just a great place to come. It's great with your family, it's therapeutic here, you know. Kate's awesome. It's just a great community to be a part of.
In the summer, McAllister says as many as 80 people have attended a yoga session at once. And the animals even remember those who visit often and will find them during sessions, adding more fun to this new way to relax while getting back to nature. Jackie Drees, Loyola News Chicago.
Thanks for joining us this semester at Loyola News Chicago. It's been a great run.
We appreciate your support throughout the semester and hope you all have a great summer.